There are a lot of things that Drew Brees has done in his life. He was an outstanding college quarterback, an outstanding NFL quarterback, Super Bowl winner, and now eligible to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And now that he is retired, by the way, he is also a fantasy football player. Let's welcome in future Hall of Famer, now eligible Drew Brees. Week one of the NFL is almost here. I know, look, you've been doing interviews all day, man, so we want to make this as easy as possible for you. Gearing up for the season, I mean, do you still gear up for it? Like, do you still get giddy that it's almost here?
Absolutely. Look, I love the game of football. I get excited for the NFL season, the college season, the high school season, you name it. I love the game, and I love being a part of every aspect of it. Obviously, there's tons of storylines, no matter what level that you're looking at, no matter what conference you're looking at. I'm in a couple fantasy football leagues with my kids as well. They're always trying to poach my players. But no, I love every aspect of the game. Make it back to a bunch of Saints games. Still very involved with the organization and doing a lot of other things behind the scenes as well.
Have you done your drafts yet?
I have.
Who did you? Can you tell us who you took?
Oh, you know what? Well, I guess technically it was a mock draft. It was a mock draft, so we haven't done a real draft yet. So that's coming up. But yeah, I've got my eyes on a couple people that I think are flying under the radar right now. I'll let you know when it comes together.
Okay, so you can't even give us one name, like one clue, like somebody we just need to be watching for, a sleeper.
Oh man. No, I mean, I gotta keep it really secretive, or else, again, my kids poach my players all the time. So I need every advantage I can get here.
Look, I respect that. You're a competitor through and through. Let's talk about the Saints, and I just want to jump right into this because I've heard you say now a couple times. We were talking before we came on camera that our mock draft had the Saints at number 2, and you said that's assuming they're going to be bad this year. You don't really agree with that. Why not?
Look, I think we're poised and ready to make a statement in the NFC South this year. I mean, there's no dominant team in the NFC South. Yes, the Tampa Bay Bucks have won the division the last couple of years in a row here, and Baker Mayfield is by far the most established quarterback and playing really well. The rest of the teams have young, maybe not quite as established starters. Bryce Young in Carolina, who finished the season really strong last year. I love his journey and the adversity that he overcame last year. And they're an up-and-coming team. But Michael Penix kind of starts that era in Atlanta, and here we go, Spencer Rattler, getting his opportunity with the Saints. I think top to bottom, the Saints roster is really, really strong. One of the best offensive lines in football, one of the most dynamic running backs in Alvin Kamara, who can do everything for you, and then 2 extremely explosive receivers in Olavi and Shaheed, not to mention a lot of other pieces to the puzzle. Defensively, tons of great veteran leadership and presence in Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, tons of young guys that have been drafted over the last couple of years at every level of the defense. So, look, I love the position they're in. I think they're flying under the radar right now. Kellen Moore, everyone seems to love. I think he really has, kind of the pulse of that team, and has really kind of created an offseason and a structure that's really gotten those guys, ready to play. And look, I love his offensive scheme as well. So, man, all the way around, I think the Saints are in a position to maybe surprise some people.
I was listening to an interview or several interviews with Kellen Moore, and I got to say, just so much more authority than I expected him to have. You mentioned Spencer Rattler being named the starter for the Saints. You had mentioned at one point that Jake Haener actually reminded you of yourself. I'm curious, though, when you're evaluating quarterbacks now, what do you look for that's maybe changed from when you first got in the league? Like, is it leadership? Is it the amount of time that they've played? For you looking at someone to be successful in this league, what attributes are you looking for?
First and foremost, I think having a lot of college experience really, really helps. In fact, I would say a guy, in order to be at a level where he's really ready to be a great NFL starter, I think he's got to have 50-plus starts under his belt as a combination of, high-level college and pro. In other words, if a guy's coming into the league having only started 1 year in college, call it 13, 14, 15 games, he still has 2 years ahead of him before I think he's really ready. I mean, go back in time and tell me a guy who came in with only 1 or 2 years of college experience and made an instant impact. On the flip side, you take guys that had a wealth of college experience, Brock Purdy, 52 starts or something at Iowa State, comes in a backup role into San Francisco and has immediate success. Bo Nix last year, a ton of starts in college, 61, ended up having a really successful rookie season. Jane Daniels, a lot of starts at ASU, then goes to LSU, and then had the success he had last year. So there's tons of examples of that. In addition to the guys that didn't have the starts really kind of struggling as they came in. So I think that, and then obviously combine that with the team around them, and some of the factors that really help position a quarterback to have success. A great defense, great run game. Those are definitely key ingredients to having success as a QB. But I think all in all, it's experience.
Okay, those are guys with a lot of college success and time playing. So you had a lot of time in the league. You retired at 42. Aaron Rodgers now playing at 41. Not that Aaron Rodgers needs any sort of advice from any of us, but this last year, if it is the last year for him, is there any advice that you would give him, whether it's durability and focusing on your body, focusing on the wins, and actually playing really hard, which obviously he'll do, or is it just taking in the atmosphere? If you had to give him one piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, I think more than anything, it's just being in the moment, and the opportunity. Obviously, it's a fresh start. For him leaving the Jets, he's going to an organization and a team and a coach in Mike Tomlin that really has an established identity there. I mean, those guys haven't had a losing season in I can't even remember how long, 30 years, 25 years. They have a formula, and they play great defense. They run the football effectively. They play a tough physical brand of football. And honestly, the QB position has the chance to be something that elevates everybody, which it always does. But I think especially in that situation, you can see how they've built that roster to win now. I think they see this as, whether Aaron Rodgers plays 1 year or 2 years, they understand that their time is limited with a guy like that. So they've got weapons. They made some offseason trades, acquisitions, things to continue to kind of build those pieces. And they're going to play stout defense. They're going to run the football. They play in a tough division. I mean, shoot, they got to go up against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, and Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And, so we'll see how, those divisional matchups are always going to be critical. But I think that's going to be exciting.
We see it there.
Team to watch this year.
We see it there behind you, the We Give Blood drive in the Big Ten, I understand. Look, it's for a good cause, and there's actually cool prizes involved. What can you tell us about it and your involvement?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great partnership between one of the great global healthcare leaders in Abbott and the Big Ten Conference. Encourage everybody to get out and give blood. I think that's one of those things that a lot of people don't realize just how impactful that can be. Every 2 seconds, somebody in the U.S. needs blood. And for every blood donation given, you can save up to 3 lives, which is incredible. So why not add a little competition to that as well, which is exactly what we've done in basically saying, okay, across the Big Ten, everyone who gives blood, if you have an affiliation with a Big Ten team, go to big10.org/Abbott, register your blood donation, and the school that gives the most blood this year will win a $1 million prize that will go to student activities around campus. So really a cool campaign, great way to raise awareness and around giving blood. Whether you have a Big Ten affiliation or not, go out and give blood. It can really save lives. Okay,
last important question, and this is just between you and I. I am also from Texas. New Orleans is my favorite city in the world. What has better food, Austin or New Orleans?
Oh man, that's tough because I love some good Tex-Mex, and right? I love some good barbecue, and Austin has those hands down. Okay, but if all the flavors and the spices and the seasonings and the red beans and rice and the gumbo and the catfish and chafalaya and everything that New Orleans has, that's hard to beat too. So it's whatever you're in the mood for. Just they're just right down the road from each other. So you could do both. Have the best of both.
I agree. Just hop on a plane and go back and forth. Man, nothing beats a good cup of gumbo though. Drew Brees, thank you so much. I know you've had a long day today, so we appreciate your time.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you.
So Drew Brees taking a look at his all-time ranks. Look, this is why he is one of the greatest of all time. First and second, mind you, are still active. You can guess who those guys are. Second in passing yards, second in passing touchdowns, third in completion percentage.